What if I told you that 8 simple habits, nothing extreme, nothing expensive, could add over 2 decades to your life? Not a supplement, not a biohack, just habits. And the study behind this number isn't small. It followed over 700,000 people for nearly a decade. This comes from the Veterans Affairs Million Veteran Program, one of the largest health data sets in the world. Researchers tracked 719,000 U.S. veterans between the ages of 40 and 99 from 2011 to 2019. Over 1 million person-years of data. More than 33,000 deaths recorded. This isn't a small trial. It's about as close to population-level proof as science gets. The researchers identified 8 specific factors. Being physically active. Never smoking. Managing stress effectively. Getting restorative sleep. Eating a good diet. Avoiding excessive alcohol. Maintaining positive social relationships. And staying free from opioid use. 8 boxes, and the more boxes a person checked, the longer they lived. Not by a little, but by decades. Here's where it gets remarkable. Men who had all 8 habits by age 40 lived on average 24 years longer than men with none of them. For women, the difference was over 20 years. Let that sink in. The gap between 0 healthy habits and all 8 wasn't measured in months, it was measured in decades of life. Not all habits carry equal weight. The researchers found that low physical activity, opioid use, and smoking had the single biggest impact, each one linked to a 30 to 45% higher risk of death. In other words, if you can only fix a few things, these 3 matter the most. Enough for the most, it's like being dairies, with even more probably little differing stories. I had actually not all of to winter. I'm trans just reigns it is very unfast bad part enter. But here's what most coverage of this study missed. Stress management and sleep quality were counted as equally important as diet and exercise. That's significant, because they're also the 2 habits people neglect the most, and the 2 hardest to build alone. Chronic stress keeps your nervous system stuck in a fight or flight state, disrupting sleep, appetite, and immune function, which is exactly why researchers now treat stress regulation as a measurable longevity factor, not a soft skill. The researchers behind this study make an important point. Lifestyle medicine doesn't just treat symptoms, it addresses the root causes of chronic disease. That's the real shift here. We're not talking about a pill that adds a few months. We're talking about daily choices that compound, year after year, into decades. The message from this research is clear. It's never too late to start. Even adopting these habits later in life still added meaningful years, just slightly less dramatically than starting at 40. If you're working on any one of these 8, start with the 2 most people skip: stress and sleep. A short daily practice to regulate your nervous system, even 2 or 3 minutes, is where most people get the fastest results. That's actually the exact gap we built Powsar to close. Link in the description if you want to try it. If you found this useful, subscribe for more evidence-based breakdowns of the neuroscience behind everyday habits. See you in the next one.